Hello everybody, it is Ratchet5 here, and today we are announcing the grand final game. So what has happened is that I have told people to, all the people in the grand final, to figure out what grand final game they want to do by themselves. We thought that like a vote would be inappropriate, but like I said that, you guys work it out yourself, like find something that you guys all agree on and then do it. And so they decided that they all agree upon something I came up with actually, but they originally were going to do a different kind of vote, but it was a private vote where they selected 4 games, each of them. They put them in preferential order and then they gave them to me, and then the top 2 games would be selected as the grand final. So, here's what it ended up coming up with. The first game in the IAS 9 Grand Final with 4 votes is Crash Bandicoot 3. Now, I don't necessarily agree that this voting system was the best way we could have done it. I was kind of thinking for a while actually. I mean, I didn't think about it all the time, but I thought, it's probably, I'm just going to let them do what they want to do. They all agree on this, so, whatever, I mean, I could have come up with something better, but, it's not my grand final, so why do I give a shit? But the thing you've all been waiting for, a lot of people have been waiting for this, what will be the second grand final game? Because Crash 3, a lot of people thought, this would probably be in, but what will be the second grand final game? The second game in a medley of 2. Well, I'd like to announce today that we have a tie between 3 games with 3 votes each. Now, I'm not going to deal with preferences. I think that when it comes to preferences, it just doesn't. If things don't work, it just does not work. Okay, so. I mean, yeah, actually, okay, I'm going to get to this in a second. Alright, so the 3 games are Spyro the Dragon, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and A Bug's Life. I'm pretty sure that Spyro loses on preferences anyway, I'm just looking here, but I'm not going to allow Spyro as a grand final game because of the fact that we already have Crash 3, Spyro has been the most played game this tournament, and we want something different. So, I mean, if it got more votes, if it was Crash 4 and Spyro 4, maybe I would have said, okay, well, they got the most amount of votes, whatever, but because this is a tie, I'm absolutely discounting Spyro. Now, here's where it gets tricky. We have 2 games left. We have A Bug's Life and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, both on 3 votes. When it comes to preferences, to be honest, there really isn't one that sticks out. I mean, I could do the preference counting voting thing, but I don't think it would really work properly. I mean, especially as this is meant to be majority vote. Anyway, what's going to happen is I don't think a random draw will be appropriate either. So what is going to happen is there is going to be 3 games in the grand final. I know. Whoops. I know, there is going to be 10 stops. I know, that is horrible. I know, 10 people stopping, 10 people having to start again. I know there's going to be horrible, but hear me out here. This is a 1998 tournament. If there's any tournament where we needed 3 grand final games, this would be it. Why? Because it's based on the whole of 1998. This isn't just one game series where, maybe one game will just sum it up. This is the whole of 1998. And so I think it is actually very good that if we have 3 grand final games. Now, Luke apparently can't do Legend of Zelda, so at the moment he can't. Maybe he has to get an emulator or something. So if I wanted to, I could just say, well, Luke can't do it. And then there's a whole thing about how Bug's Life is so much fairer than Legend of Zelda, and it's a platform game which we're usually used to. I think Legend of Zelda will be the first. I think Nintendo game is a grand final. And because I think the first non-platformer, I'm not too sure. I think so. Okay, so but keep this in mind, alright? all those people who want Legend of Zelda, here's your disadvantage. The thing is, each grand final game is going to be 30 minutes long each, approximately 30 minutes long. Now I know that Legend of Zelda has a whole lot of cutscenes that will not be counted for. We will not say 30 minutes of gameplay. It will just be 30 minutes of the game. So it doesn't. So I don't care if you're going to moan about how you really only played for like 10 minutes or something. I don't care. Like, we're not going to sit around and wait for cutscenes all day. Part of you choosing your game was that your game is full of cutscenes. So anyway, the game order of the grand final will be Legend of Zelda first, then A Bug's Life, and then finish it off with Crash Bandicoot 3. So 30 minutes each. The goals, we'll try to work out like what would be like, kind of good goals, and make sure that the Legend of Zelda people purposely don't make the goals larger than they should be. Same as the Bugs Life people, I'll make sure that happens, and the Crash 3 people, of course. Do I think this is fair? I could deliberate it with it for hours, but whatever. This is a decision we had to make sooner or later. I think that because we got, basically it was kind of split between Legend of Zelda and A Bug's Life. We have Mano Doctor here voting for both, and he voted for Crash 3, so Mano Doctor probably has the highest chance of winning. They could, maybe I'm just thinking about that, like maybe we could have done some kind of thing where people get like, if they won certain matches or something, they get like extra voting points or something to vote the games. I don't know. We could have done it that way or some other way. Whatever. This is we'll. Okay. Whatever. So, but yeah, this medley thing, I'm, people were saying that it would be kind of stressful for 2 games. Now we're doing 3 games. But I think there's no really other way that we could have done it, and I didn't want to get rid of Crash 3 because 4 people did vote for it, and I think that there still deserves to be a Spyro or Crash game in the grand final. Because Spyro and Crash games are probably the best games of 1998, or at least platformers anyway. And Banjo-Kazooie, but unfortunately that only got 2 votes, so yeah, so sorry Banjo-Kazooie. If you have any complaints, please post them in the comments. Obviously, probably things aren't changing. I really don't want to do a draw, and there's going to be no more majority votes, because the majority voting, again, like it can easily just target the weaker players. Just say, oh, I guess you haven't played the game before. We're all going to vote for this game, target you, and I think that it's quite fair how it is. I think that this is the fairest could have been. Really, anyway, we are going to put the grand final date for next weekend. If people have a problem with that, please tell me. I guess I'll post the grand final times in the description, and perhaps I'll put an extra backup time if the first time does not work. I'm trying to get it good for all time zones, because we do have all time zones in this grand final. Thank you, Angus. And I think that's pretty much it, everyone. And I hope people aren't too mad about this decision. Goodbye.